And we live. Hey, welcome to another episode of Easy Sport. And today I've got a full house. Got Shiva, got
Gentlemen,
Cheese, I got Site, and we've got a new panelist, guys. Homie, Onke, welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate this.
Yeah. We here. Oh, of course, I did mention this off screen, but you and Site have something in common. You guys are
Support a big team.
big team that makes
That,
big
that,
decisions,
that,
right?
that, that's my man right there. You chose the right episode to break your virginity. It's all
Yeah.
good
team.
in the bridge, my guy. It's all good in the bridge.
Yeah. I wanted us to start with cheese. Since out of all of us, we all caught L's. Every single one of us caught L's
Ish.
besides cheese. So it's only fair that cheese goes first. We'll start off with the City and Liverpool game. Cheese, how you feeling, Chief? I see there you look. Hey.
Ah, my brother. Can you see even my skin? Look at my skin. Look at my skin, bro. Look at my skin. When you face, you know how I feel about playing against Liverpool. For me,
Yeah.
it's a test of where City is currently in the season. That game sort of becomes our cornerstone, and you need a result like that when you're facing Bayern in the next round of the Champions League. But yo, what a performance! I think we had a revival of Michael Carrick in John Stones over the weekend.
What
We
the
played,
hell?
outplayed Henderson, Fabinho in the middle of the park. It was incredible. And yo, what a game!
Look at this guy.
Eba,
You got
Eba,
shots
it doesn't
already.
take-
It's not your turn, Sihle. It's not your
No,
turn.
wait. It doesn't take a lot to bypass Hendo. So please, let's not go there.
Well, hey,
Okay, are you done
United,
now?
United can argue with that, bro. United can argue about that, my brother. So, hey, that's how I feel. I'm over the moon. We have to keep up with Arsenal. We have to. Someone has to keep up with them, guys, because clearly you guys all have your own problems. So someone has to represent.
Yeah. And then Shiva, I just wanted to ask you this question. Like on your end, where do you think you guys went wrong? I think all of
So
us can see, but I just wanted to hear from maybe your perspective, man.
at no point did I think we were going to win this game. Even before the international break, everyone was talking about if we get a win at City, we can push for top four. I'm just like, it's not going to happen. Make your peace with it. Move on. And then Liverpool did what Liverpool always do. We scored first, and then I got hope. And then what I thought would happen would happen. Where we went wrong was how do we get the early kickoff after the international break? It's City away, and it's the 1st of April. Like, what do you want from us? What are we supposed to do with that situation?
That's a joke.
No, it's true. It's true. Go look at it. It was an early kickoff, which is always bad. First game after international break, which is always bad. City away, which is always bad, and it's the 1st of April. Come on.
Wait, but we leveled the playing field. We didn't play our big boy. He was sitting in a grandstand. So at least we're
did play your
compensating.
big boy. You did play your big boy. Kevin De Bruyne will always be the big boy.
Oh,
But
Yeah,
we're
Kevin De Bruyne, I believe, has one of the most underrated cases for being the best big game player in the Premier League. I think
Yeah.
Mo Salah is number one.
Yep.
Kevin De Bruyne is a close second.
Yeah.
But like, give that guy a big game. He can ghost against Aston Villa, but give him a big game. You know you're getting the best out of him in that game. And he's had a very so-so season this year. He hasn't hit the numbers he normally hits, and he's looked very. I don't know if I should call it out of place. Sometimes I feel like for the most part of this for most of this season, Bernardo Silva has outplayed him.
Yeah.
To me, he's my favorite Man City player right now. Like totally favorite. He's a
you
super
mean
footballer.
our left back? You mean our spare left back?
He's your everything, like literally your everything.
Yeah.
So I think
It's
there
not
is there
in
is
your
a
words.
revival. I felt like Saturday to me felt more like, okay, KDB is gonna close this season on a high. He looked menacing. He was in the mood. It's that
Yeah.
KDB that no one wants to face, basically, and it's the
Yeah,
perfect time in the season for him as well.
He did it. He
Yeah.
did it at the end of last year as well.
yeah.
I
Yes.
remember watching some City games, and I'm just like, it looks like Kevin has just decided, look, I'm just going to win this league now,
So,
Yeah.
and
so, so, so,
screw the
gents,
rest
I
of
want
you.
to put a spanner in the works. Spanner in the works here. For
Yeah.
me, our biggest BMT player is Ilkay Gundogan. Ilkay
That's a
Gundogan,
good
if
shout.
you check his stats, if you check
Yeah.
Gundogan's stats, in every big game, every big team, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, he has the most goals in of all the guys we've mentioned against
It
Liverpool.
was,
Spurs,
wasn't he the one
Real
that scored
Madrid,
on the last day last season?
Barcelona,
Yeah.
all the big games, Gundo scores. That's Aston Villa goal.
Yep.
How was for the first goal, our equalizer, when he receives that ball facing the other goal and he controls it with his right foot and he passes it out
That's
to Jack with
crazy.
his left foot.
That was
In
crazy.
that with three defenders around him. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Can
And
I
for
give
me,
can I give Jack props for that equalizer? Because
yeah.
Jack does two things in that equalizer. He's the last man for
Excellent.
the counter. He
Yeah.
makes the tackle. He runs the length of the field, goes to the other side. He connects so well because the ball basically is recycled, and then they play the ball all the time on the right. He goes on the left for literally like a few seconds, and a goal is created just like that. That was, to me, that was so amazing. He bossed that entire possession
So
because
I'd
his
like to discuss Jack for just a second.
Wait.
Finish, go for it. Okay,
Yeah.
finish your statement.
his goal saving tackle helps to maintain the momentum for Man City because Man City was starting to apply pressure. If Liverpool scores with that counter, it changes the game completely. It's 2-0. It's not looking great. They are home. Liverpool has the confidence, and you know when Liverpool is confident, Trent and Mo Salah are almost impossible to play against when those guys are confident.
Yeah.
So that work rate that Jack showed there changed
So
that game for Man City as well.
so I
Yeah.
think there's three items to this. Wait, where's my finger? Okay, cool. There's three items to this. There's Kevin.
He
You guys
hasn't
have
seen 3 points
spoken.
in a long time. Forgive him.
Wow, my sponsor is
No.
Three.
Premier Aspects.
Yes.
There's Kevin, who is big match. Kevin shows up, and without fail, he's one player that I hate when City plays Chelsea, because for some odd reason he knows how to score a goal or he
All the
knows how to
time.
influence the game. And then there's the second part, Gundogan. Gundogan, for some odd reason, German as he is, he flows under the radar. Not a lot of people pay attention to this boy, and he is brilliant.
It's
Like
brilliant,
you
man.
watch his play, where I thought once the Silva left, I thought, okay, cool. There might be a crack nyana somewhere there in the city. But what's his name? Just he's filled it up, and we can't even see that Silva is missing. And then there's Jack. Jack, since the start of the season, actually not even the start of the season, start of last season, when City paid 100 mil, and unfortunately, the minute that a player has that amount hanging over his head, he's gonna get pressure to he needs to perform first season, first game, he needs to score goals and I'm not gonna lie, I did fall into the trap of penalizing or of judging him and
Yeah,
saying
you did.
100 mil and whatnot. But end of the day, if a club wants to pay 200 mil for a player, that's the club's decision. It's not on the player. The player is he's for hire, to be honest.
Yeah.
This match was his I'm introducing myself to the Man City fans. Like, this is my coming out match. Because I was typing in the
Wait. You guys, he was playing against Trent, bro. Hey, we must all remember as well that he was playing against Trent. So for me,
No,
it's like Jack's had a few great performances, ne? But for me, Trent just makes it easy for anyone who plays against him. Guys, we have to
He
be
true.
honest.
does.
But
Trent always has a shocker. Van Dijk is not far off, but
yeah,
Trent's always having a shocker these days.
very, very, very true. I'll go to Route 66 just now. But with normally Jack likes influencing the game up front. Like he sits in the corner, he literally hugs the touchline. Waits for the ball to come in. He does what Marius does. Either he cuts inside and whatnot, he gets fouled, you get a free kick. But this time around, there was something different about him. Him tracking what Onko was mentioning, him tracking that corner, because that one had that gone in, I was like, yeah, it's game over. He tracked the run, got the ball, he was excited, went back, and then seconds later, assist, goal.
Yeah.
So this is from here on, he has to take his game to the next level because he's shown what he can do and what he can provide to the team. I don't want to go much. Hold on,
Yeah.
just 2 seconds. I don't want to go much into defense. Liverpool. Trent, we've known Trent doesn't. He hates defending. His positional play is the worst. And then Van Dijk. I've said this. A lot of people were up in Van Dijk's bum, blowing it up, saying he's the best. He's not. I'm sorry, gents.
Yeah.
And I think this weekend we showed that he's not the best. The only thing that he does very well is point and talk, and it ends there. There's nothing of substance now.
Damn.
Look at this all coming at me like he's not sitting at the bottom half of the table.
Yes, 11. But anyway,
I think with Jack, what's happening now is he's starting to unlearn the way he plays. And it's so important when you play for Pep to not be a ball hog. Like you can't keep the ball for too long. Mahrez can do it, but Mahrez also moves the ball very well. He reads the game quite well. When he needs to be 1v1, he does that. When he needs to move the ball, Sterling was also great at this. He never tried to take on players too much because he's not really good at it. He used to move a lot off the ball. That's basically how you try to play in the Pep way. Don't do that, Sitla. I know what you're doing. So what you see now with Jack is he doesn't have those periods in the game where he is trying to solve an equation. He gets the ball. He's trying to be Eden Hazard all the time. He gets the ball now and he makes quick decisions. And now he is assimilating nicely into the Pep style of playing. He's becoming less of the player he was when he was at Villa, which is what he needed to learn last season. He's getting better at that. And then I think with Virgil, I'll be fair. I think Virgil has the two worst things to happen to him is his prime started when he was still at Southampton, which wasn't a great team to start your prime at because no one is going to notice that this is one of the best defenders in the league. And then when he got to Liverpool, he upgraded them so much at the back that everyone was like, where the hell did this guy come from? And I'm going to be very honest. To me, Virgil is one of the best defenders I've ever watched. For the 2 years that he was great at Liverpool, those 2 years, he was amazing.
Him to the moment Pickford got hold of his anterior cruciate ligament, he was the best defender.
He was the best defender. Him and Aymeric Laporte, for me, were the best plug-and-play defenders you could find because they literally joined both teams in January and changed their defenses. Who does that? So I believe that for those 2 years where Liverpool was peaking, and I believe for a big part of last year as well, Virgil was one of the best defenders in the league. I mean, Liverpool lost 4 games last season, and they played 60-something games. They lost 4. Yeah. So there is something to be said that Klopp's way of playing is not sustainable on the legs. He needs to freshen up his team. Pep is ahead of him as far as that's concerned. He freshens up his team every season. You can't play at that intensity and not freshen up your team. The legs are going to die. Look at Mane at Bayern. The same thing has happened to him. You can't carry on. You just can't carry on. There's going to be a slowing down of those players. He should have freshened up that team after last season, but he felt he had the winning formula. He can go into the next season with the same
No,
team. The legs were
he did
not
not
there.
feel that.
It's not that the team
No,
is bad. The team doesn't have the legs to carry them to play the type of football. So then all
Yeah.
their weaknesses start to show because you can overcompensate for your weaknesses if you can outscore your opponent. But if you can't, Liverpool has had scoring droughts for months now. They can't score goals. They struggle to score now. Liverpool never had that problem before.
we scored
So it
all our
tells you
goals in one
that
That's
game.
against United. Yeah.
against
Hey,
United, I mean,
They
really.
finished
hey,
with
man. Hey,
So
hey,
just on that. So
days,
you said
man.
Yeah.
Klopp didn't feel like he needed to strengthen. Klopp wanted Xiaomeni, he wanted Bellingham, and he wanted another right back, and all he got was Darwin. He wanted 4 players. He got 2. He got Darwin, and instead of the right back that he wanted, we got this kid from the Scottish League who hasn't played
He
a
Case
game.
might yet
series.
still get Bellingham. Guys, I'll be honest.
I
I
just
don't get the Bellingham
don't
hype.
don't
I don't
don't
get it.
don't talk about whether we're gonna get him or not. The
Okay,
fact is, we
with
didn't
Bellingham,
get him when we needed him.
with Jude,
Shiva, you guys
I
have
honestly,
budgeted. You have budgeted.
Budgeted.
Okay, fine, right? You've got a 17-year-old playing
Bro,
like how a
bro, that kid is a
17-year-old should
serial
play.
baller. No, that
Yeah,
kid is a serial
he's
baller. That
17.
kid is
He's
serial
He
baller.
is
17,
so good.
guys.
He is
Still,
Come on,
doesn't
so
That
good.
matter.
come
kid
on.
is a serial
Played
He
baller.
is so good.
My bro, I'll take that kid in a flash at City. In
No,
a
no, no.
He
flash,
is
I
I'm
so
wouldn't
good,
glad we
man.
cry.
have him, right? I'm glad we have him,
Oh,
but you
what a
can't
player.
you can't play a 17-year-old City away. I don't care how good
Ah,
he
you
is.
play him. You shit
No,
anyway. You play him. You shit anyway, bro. You play him, man. It's like last season when
that's
these
why
guys
we're
needed to play
six.
Elanga. They needed to play Elanga United. They play Elanga. You had a
Yes,
choice.
but that's
Like
not. That
you
was not because Ilanga
bro.
was good. That was because United were shit. There's a difference here, right?
Why are we
But-
catching
also-
strays,
Ah.
gents?
But-
Gents.
but-
No,
The fact,
But
the fact that our best
Shiva, you
midfielder
trying
this
to tell
season,
me,
the fact that our best midfielder
Bro,
this season
bro,
is
did you see
17
Nick?
years old.
do you see how late? Do you see how late Fabinho was to everything?
Everything. Yep.
Bro was even late to a throw in. Fabinho
Yep.
was late to everything.
Legs,
Yep.
legs,
So
legs,
Fabinho actually is
Bro.
the player in our team with the most minutes in his legs.
legs.
but just a
And
question on
after
Fabinho.
that, it's
Did he get injured
No.
at some point?
nothing.
So what's happening? Because
Legs.
his slowness, you
It's
can
mine.
almost say he got injured.
Let me remind you of something. Fabinho picked up Timo Werner last season and closed him out for an entire. Understand, Timo Werner was one of the fastest players in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Fabinho didn't feel him, so he didn't have a pace issue. The problem is that this body is not meant to run at that pace that Liverpool runs at. So
For
what
that
happens
long.
is
Well, that
over for
consistently.
that long as well. So over time, they gave so much last season. They played the most games of any team in Europe. At that pace, at that rate,
They were going
didn't
for
win
trophies.
they were playing for 4 trophies. So it was such a high that, of course, when you crash from that high, it's going to be super bad. And they don't have a big break for the off season. There was the whole international thing, the World Cup. So there was never any continuity as well. So Liverpool was going through the most, basically,
We're
through the
burnt-
most.
completely burned out. But there are some changes that we can make. I was actually thinking about it today. All of these magnificent managers that we have right now, right, in the world, how many of them have rebuilt a side?
Pep.
Pep.
Are we going to count Pep? I don't.
Yes.
Okay,
What do you
no.
mean?
Pep came in
Yes.
and rebuilt that side, and now he's
Yeah.
successful with that side. He didn't go and rebuild the side twice. Like he didn't
Yeah,
build
and-
the side and then see the side fade out and then build it again.
Twice is different.
Right?
Can I
Because-
name a
okay,
manager that's
The
not
choice
in
is
Spain?
coming now. The choice is coming now.
Right? Go
This
for
is
it.
going to be
Who
his
you-
twice now.
I wanted to ask, can I name a manager outside of the Premier League who's done that before?
Yeah.
Or is it just only
Yeah.
in the Premier League?
No, anyone.
Anyone? Ancelotti?
When?
Not really.
No.
Not really.
I don't agree. I don't
I feel
agree.
like I feel like Ancelotti is the reason why Modric reached the heights that he reached. Mourinho
Yeah.
didn't.
No,
need
Modric was a
But
Ballon
you
d'Or
see,
winner.
first
No,
team,
but
Modric is
right?
a Ballon d'Or winner.
First,
but
no.
prior,
What I'm saying is,
but
what I'm saying is,
prior,
nobody has
when
two
yeah,
stretches at a club, right?
The best of
Like,
yeah,
Luka Modric was the 2018 World Cup.
yeah,
That was the best version
he
of
was
Luka
better the year
Modric
before.
ever.
yeah,
I actually think he was better the
Nah,
year before, but it was just
yeah.
2018
But
Messi and
no,
Ronaldo kind of
I'm
started
just
dipping,
saying
so
that.
that's why.
Remember, Mourinho is the one who signed Modric, and Modric wasn't
yes.
featuring a lot. And then when Ancelotti came, he then allowed. I think he also came with Kroos. Yeah, Tony Kroos also came from Bayern.
Mm.
He was meant to
And
come to
James.
United. I remember that season, and fuck the Glazers anyway. Then Luka Modric, and then after that, Ancelotti is the one who actually created. He even unlocked Isco as well. Remember, Isco as well wasn't as hot before. When
But that's not a
Ancelotti came in,
rebuild.
So
yeah,
Isco's
and
Yeah,
then
always
it's
been
not
hot,
a
my
rebuild.
brother.
So he
yeah,
came in, he built his
yeah,
team. Once the team started dipping, he was gone, right?
yeah,
I think maybe Pep now, but also unlimited funds, but every manager has come in, built a team, been successful, and then left, right? Jose does
The
it
other thing, I just want to
everywhere.
say something. I just want to say something about the Madrid team.
Yo,
What we are forgetting is that what Mourinho was the way Mourinho was using that team was he would play Lassana Diarra and Khedira as the two
yeah,
holding midfielders, and then in front of them he'd play Ozil, so that Ozil has the freedom to not have to track back and do any defensive work, so he could just be the creative outlet for the team. So when who's this? When Ancelotti came in, he looked for a much more free flowing type of play style where you have one holding midfielder and two creative midfielders in Modric and Ozil. So
yeah,
that's when they bought Casemiro, because that's why they wanted Casemiro, because Casemiro offered them that anchor in the midfield. And after the anchor joined, that's when Real Madrid was transformed in midfield,
yeah,
because they had lost Lasana and Khedira had also lost what's his place in the team. So it was a different team when Ancelotti took when
yeah.
Ancelotti took it.
No.
Just
I
like it was a
agree with you.
different
Yeah,
team when Zidane came in as well.
yeah,
You're forgetting
But
Xabi
I
Alonso,
think, yeah, but
who
I
he
think
actually
also,
won the Champions
gents,
League with.
Oh
I think,
yes.
gents,
yeah.
let's be honest. Right now, Liverpool can't afford to get any other manager.
So
I think
that's my
thing.
point, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. The only manager that came to my mind that rebuilt his own team was Sir Alex, right? He's
Yeah.
the only one. And what did Sir Alex do differently to all of these other managers,
Change the
right?
number
Because
two.
that's now where he changes number 2
Yeah,
every 3 or 4 years,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
right?
true.
So when Klopp first came in, he had this thing about Klopp never wins a final, right? What did he
Yeah,
do? He changed his number 2. Pep
yeah.
Linders came in for Bovac, the guy that looked like Snape. Linders comes in, and now suddenly we start winning. We start winning again. Linders
Yeah.
now released a book called Intensity. How's that for irony? And suddenly
Hmm.
we just drop off.
You don't have
So I think he's
intensity.
got to take his number, and maybe it's not just the number 2. Maybe it's also the staff around him,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
So I have two arguments here. The first one is if Klopp goes, who do we replace him with? Because there isn't a single manager I'd rather have. And the
how's
second
your
argument is
how's your how's your canteen and your
how's my
microwaves and
canteen?
things like that? Yeah.
But just
Okay,
on
no.
But
that, do you
Look
know?
at it, right? The backroom
yeah,
staff do play an important role in setting up the team, right? And to answer your question, our canteen is fine. We've got Carol and Caroline who've been there since like the 90s, and I'm quite happy with
No,
them
nice.
staying.
Is
But I think
the
also,
menu
gents, the
modern?
other thing
Is it
is,
a modern menu?
What was it is
Look,
the menu
I
model.
don't.
It is
I
the
mean,
menu
I've never
model.
been there. I've never eaten,
Mm,
but I think I'm sure it
no.
is. I mean, it's
but
better than
gents,
United, who Ronaldo
These
left
teams
12 years
that are
ago,
rich in
came
history.
back.
Yeah, we don't trust these teams of Asian. He said, I think you guys have like a wooden, a fire oven. Like you still sort of
We've got
but also,
still
we've got a
gents,
use
we've
charcoal.
got a
there's
brand
another
new training
dynamic that you
ground.
must look into.
We've got a
The
brand new training
dynamic,
ground, like brand new, like last year
and you spend all your
or
money there.
maybe
But
2 years
anyway,
ago.
the dynamic of there's certain players that
We didn't
are
spend it over
brilliant
8
under
years, though.
one manager and will be up under another manager. And I
yeah,
see that happening at Liverpool. I think Liverpool not heavily invested in the squad per se, but the manager who dictates who comes in the squad and who goes. And if he goes, yeah, you guys are in trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
Klopp stays. That's
Yeah, he is gonna stay. Klopp is safe, man.
there's no
really.
way. If
Mm.
we sack Klopp, we go back to like Chelsea's
Yeah.
position.
23
Like
years.
where they
No,
are
no,
now.
no, no. Don't involve us. Don't involve us. Don't.
Yeah. Do you
What
guys
Chelsea
wanna
does,
add?
what Chelsea,
Yeah. I wanted to check.
what Chelsea does. Yeah, sorry.
Chelsea now, or still stay at this topic because 25 minutes.
Nah,
guys.
I think we can move on to
Yeah.
we can move on to Man United.
Oh, to United.
Why not Chelsea?
Why not Chelsea?
Chelsea played first.
We'll close up.
Yes.
X, I have one question for United, X. If you
Yeah,
don't mind
Chelsea's going to
answering.
be the closing topic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to say that top 4 is done and we are not going to get top 4, right? But why are you guys making that so difficult?
Ish, man.
Every time I think top 4 is done, United go and lose.
Yeah.
Why?
But like
Why?
I did say,
Why are you
guys-
giving me hope?
No, but guys, I've been saying this like over and over again. Like, I'm one of the most realistic United fans out there. Like, I'm not getting carried away with anything. I did say that my team struggles holding on to the ball. And that's pretty much my biggest critique, especially since Sihle showed some crazy stat. Do you still have it, Sihle, Brian, the group? Casemiro,
Yeah,
man.
it's in the group. It's in the
Like,
group.
it's crazy. Let me just quickly pull it up.
His
guys.
win percentage.
My G.
Yeah.
That's scary, bro. That's scary. But I'll
But I
just
think
show it up just now.
whilst you search for that, I think on
Yeah.
Casemiro, can we be honest? I feel for him.
Yeah.
In
Who?
as much
Big
as
time.
Casemiro, I feel for him. In as much as he had lost his spot in Madrid and whatnot, I don't think this is what he signed up for. In Spanish agents, like he works hard for you guys, and I don't think there's anyone else in the team who is at that level.
With that salary, you better work hard, bro. He's
So
earning his
that's-
wages.
yeah, with that
but
For
salary,
once in his
yeah.
life, he's earning his wages, bro.
I
What
think.
Sihle is trying to
I
say is
think.
that he's outworking the rest of the team by
Yeah,
such a big margin. And the rest of the team's
Nah.
also on ridiculous wages.
I
Yeah,
think. I
everyone
think.
is.
I think. Though
what's
the
Anthony
issue.
on?
Yeah.
Whatever is
that
on, it's
cow.
too much. Whatever he's
cow.
on, it's too much.
What is he on? I think he's on 200.
Who, guys?
A week.
Crazy for Anthony.
Yeah, a week.
Anthony.
I can buy a fidget spinner for $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How much is
Anthony's
the
on
fidget spinner
200.
on a weekly wages?
Yeah.
Itopo. Itopo's like $10 though.
I think United still has.
Itopo's like $10, bro.
I think United still has a coaching problem. They just don't realize it because they haven't had a decent coach for so long. So
anything that comes out is it's brilliant.
yeah. So what Ten Hag does is he's a great transition coach, amazing at coaching transitions, just like Conte. Conte will coach a transition team for you. Like, remember Spurs last season after Kulusevski joined?
Yes.
Remember how amazing their counter-attack was? Like, Son, Kulusevski, and Kane were unplayable on the counter. Literally. Kane would go to the 10. He'd have two runners on either side of him that he could just find with the ball. And he knew they could outrun any fullback you would put in front of them. So it was literally a cheat code. That's exactly what Ten Hag has. He's got, well, I wouldn't say Anthony's fast, but he's got Rashford, who's extremely fast. He's got Bruno, who's got great vision, and he can find a pass. So all he does is he coaches the transition. He says, well, this is how he used to coach it. Eriksen and Casemiro, find the long ball to Bruno so Bruno doesn't have to drop back. Bruno just needs to turn around and find the runner. The runner will finish the chance. United was winning games like with ease, just doing that. Not playing great games, not dominating games. They don't even average that much possession. Even against smaller teams, they'll be like 44% possession. because he is fine not pressing teams. He's fine waiting for teams and then winning the ball back and then hitting quickly because his team struggles to play against low blocks. So when a team sits, they can't do anything. They don't have someone to pass through or someone to dribble through defenders and to create in those situations. So it's much better when he's playing on the transition because who's going to catch Rashford honestly when he's running at full speed? No one. So he
So
knows it's much easier to do that.
I
You
watched
were
the
saying?
game. I watched the game,
Yeah.
and then after thing, I watched the highlights of the game. Do you know that DSTV had a reel of 8 minutes of the highlights, and in none of those highlights did Man United have a shot on target.
Yeah.
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 But I see, so United set up in a way, like Onke is saying, it's set up in a way that whoever wins the ball, and most of the time that's why Casemiro is so good for United. He wins the ball, he gets that ball as fast as possible to Bruno. Bruno's in
Quickly.
space because the other team's already pressed. When they're pressing and he wins the ball and Bruno's in space, he will pick a pass, right? And it's very hard because Rashford and we also have to give praise to Benny McCarthy. Rashford's movement now has been so much better. So it
Super.
allows
Super.
Bruno to get onto the ball from Bruno's passes. And without Casemiro, you'll see McTominay doesn't win the balls as often in those positions to get the ball to Bruno.
Exactly.
Bruno doesn't work
And he doesn't
hard
have
enough
that
to
pass.
assist them. Yeah, and
That's
Bruno
my
doesn't work
thing.
hard enough to help them. Like
And I like.
you can see these
Oh,
guys
sorry.
are struggling. Yeah. Help them. Like for me, it's
Yeah.
always the thing. It's like if Rodri is struggling, Kevin drops in there to help them. Go
Yeah.
help them.
Yes.
We get the ball. We get out of that situation. Then we play again, right? So
Yeah.
Fair.
Bruno
I've
doesn't do
never
that.
seen Rodri
We have,
struggle.
Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, no, Rodri, there's games when he struggles. There's many
Really?
games, I'll tell you.
So there's a
Even
lot
the
of
game
games.
against Liverpool. The game against Liverpool,
Well.
he was struggling because Stones was playing so well. So you had that mentality to say, Stones is here. Let me try to do more. And he kept losing the ball and trying to pull
Yeah.
people, and he got lucky and didn't get a red
Yeah. I
card.
didn't get.
But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
for
I'm sorry.
me, United Rashford become useless because of that fact.
Yeah, big time, big facts. And Sitle, and I want to ask, I mean, Cheese, I want to ask you a question. The difference between my team and your team is ball retention, King.
Yeah.
It's simply that. And I've been crying out about this since last season, Shiva. I've been saying that Man United just on we don't have players who are good on possession. I can only name you two guys that I trust with all my heart on the ball in my team. It
David
is
De Gea.
no the fuck, bro. Are you crazy? It's only Lisandro Martinez for me who's number one
Yeah.
because Lisandro's
Yes.
press resistant as well. And I don't get why Ten Hag doesn't just play him as a six because from a defensive standpoint, at least he can read. Whenever we lose the ball, especially in these dangerous areas, he can actually anticipate things before they happen. And that's what Casemiro was also good at times. At times, you'd see, okay, this guy is about to make a mistake. Chances are if I run to this side of the field, I may intercept it. You know, there was a time
And
he
then
did
who
that
are
against
you gonna
Fulham.
play if you
Yeah.
take the
Defensive
six and
awareness.
we move in up? Who are you gonna
Yeah,
play behind
defensive
him?
awareness.
So
That's a
that's-
very good. That's a
That's
good
the
point.
problem, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. You take Martinez out of the back four, and now
You
you
push
don't
him
have
up.
a leader in the back four anymore.
I'd play Lindelof.
I'd play Shaw
With Varane.
thingy. I'd play
Yeah, I'd
Shaw
play
and
Lindelof.
Varane just to keep the balance. Because
I don't trust
I don't
Shaw.
know.
Guys, Shaw had a nice run. Playing
For
centre
those
back.
2-3 games. Yeah.
But like Shaw has a lot of defensive frailties that come from playing fullback because fullback usually plays with cover. So when you play with cover, you can switch off. You don't need that in a centre back. You need someone who is aware and who can anticipate very well. Shaw is not gifted at that. So if Shaw is late, he's going to make a rash tackle. As a centre back, when you make a rash tackle, usually you are closer to your box. There was a tackle he
Plus-
made against Southampton in front of the box. And I'm like, these guys have ward prowess. You don't make these tackles against Southampton.
And
You
you guys
don't.
Chelsea
know
did the
Wolves
same
Prowse.
thing.
And you guys
Chelsea
know
did the
Wolves
exact
Prowse.
same thing.
Chelsea did the
Koulibaly.
exact thing.
Koulibaly. But anyway,
Yeah.
But that's the point. You need someone who's got the awareness to say, in this position, we don't go into tackles. So Shaw is a fullback, and fullbacks usually have their own curriculum that they are using when they defend.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to cover them.
Another player defense-wise,
yeah.
before you go, Dalo had a horror show this weekend.
Yeah, Dalo, when he's isolated, bro, he's like Trent as well.
Yes.
You can't defend, guys. But Saint Maximum, let's be honest, guys. Saint Maximum.
Yeah, Saint Max is a problem, bro. I don't think any fullback wants to play against Saint Max.
Saint Maximum, remember, Cheese, when you guys drew 3-3, bruh, what he was doing to Walker, bruh.
Walker, bro. Yeah. Walker took off his boots when he walked off the pitch. Yeah, I was like, he's going boo, boo, boo. You see yeah, bro. Bro, that guy,
Dalo had a horror show this weekend.
But it's Saint Maximan.
I actually felt bad for him. I'm like, why doesn't your defenders assist him? Because they just leave him alone. Okay, sure.
No, when you have a 1v1 threat, you need a midfielder to help you. Not the defender.
Not the center back.
The midfielder, not the center back. You need the midfielder to help you.
Because that's the most important thing, bro.
Yes, because it's the inside space that's the problem. The problem is the inside space when he cuts in. So if the midfielder is cutting that channel for him, you guys are forcing him to the line. See, Lebanon is not dangerous there. It's not dangerous when you force him to the line. But when you have Scott McTominay playing midfield, you can't do that.
And Bruno, if Bruno is the right hand side of the three, and that's where Saint Max is, they're gonna hurt you. The opposition will hurt you. And as Bruno, and as Dalo actually, I was gonna shout at Bruno the whole game. He was gonna feel every pain that I feel from the coach. He was gonna feel the same thing.
Exactly.
And every time I win the ball, I was not gonna pass him like this. I swear. Every time I win the ball, and I see him standing and waiting for me to pass, I was not gonna pass him, bro. I'll stop that thing all the way to Rashford myself.
So this also goes back to something about Hendo, something that has diminished in his game a lot over the last few years. Is Hendo's ability to help Trent was so underrated.
Can I stop you right there? Before you continue, right? If you watch the game against City, Elliott played on the right and Henderson played on the left. So we killed ourselves. We killed ourselves there. How can you have
that's his one true value, his ability to cover for Trent.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Klopp is trying to do there, but it didn't work.
Yeah, but I mean,
the issue is Mahrez.
Guys,
he was accounting for Mahrez.
They want to play against modern day Michael Carrick. What is he thinking? It's like, what were we thinking, Shiva? Like it's some young kid. Yeah.
Sikhe, were you ready for the Stones performance though?
No.
Never. No one's ready for that, bro. As soon as you see for the first time, Walker didn't start a Liverpool game. I was like, this is not gonna end well. This is not going to end well, bro. And then
a part of me was wondering when Pep figured it out, like that this guy would make a great deep lying playmaker, like because he looked so at home in the position.
I don't think he'll play there many more times. I think Pep did that tactically because I think Stones actually started the game at left back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So in the lineup he was a left back. And was Aki left back? Stones was right back. Then Stones was right back. So he started at right back. That was his position. But he kind of like went into midfield like Cancelo. So that's kind of the role that he was playing. So they were basically playing a 3 at the back. And then it was Stones and Rodri sitting. And then a front 5.
X and Shiva, the difference, right, between what Stones was doing on the pitch and what McTominay does on the pitch is that Stones was keeping it simple. No. Stones was so good because he kept it so simple. 1 touch, 2 touch. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, you pass the ball. You're not trying to carry and running
for the ball.
McTominay. And it's so hard for fullbacks, right? It's so hard. No, let me explain. Right? It's so hard for a fullback, man, to move and try to be in attacking position, and allow your wingers to come in so they can play. If you're six, you don't trust him with the ball. You always want to wait and stay and wait till the ball gets to Bruno before you move.
You
And
can't
Stone doesn't
overlap.
do that.
But in Scott's
The
defense,
Kevin
in
used them
Scott's defense,
as a wall. 1-2. 1-2. We move into the space. Kevin has the ball in a more attacking position in two touches. Right? And that's the
Scott,
difference there.
But I think it's
Wait,
the.
wait, wait, wait. Okay, let me
Oh
say
yeah,
this
yeah.
once.
Sorry.
Scott had a brilliant game against Spain. So for his confidence to be up there, I don't blame him.
He was playing in a different position though. He was playing more
I
advanced.
think I think it's the legacy of British football that midfielders should be ball carriers, and I see it in my own team. Ruben has the same problem. Mount has the same problem. Gallagher has the same problem. The ball movement aspect of being a midfielder is not drilled into these boys when they're young. They're taught you need to carry the ball to from your half into the opposition's half. Now the problem with playing like that is you'll miss runners, you'll miss through passes because
Yeah.
your vision is affected by the fact that your first instinct is always to run, not to look for options, but to always run. And you see this difference with Portuguese and Spanish
Yeah.
midfielders and how they are coached. I see this with Enzo as well, who's Argentinian. His feel for the game, the moment he gets the ball, it's different. I've never seen a young midfielder do that. The way he starts attacks from like this is amazing to me because I'm so used to, your Jorginhos who trap, who check, who need to make the safe pass and all of that. And I'm used to your Mount who has to run first. But if the ball is doing the work, oh yes, yes. If the ball is doing the work, it means you are meeting your runners
Yeah.
when they have leverage over the defender before the
Yeah.
defender has a recovery run. So now the defender is now chasing someone they can't actually catch. You have a better situation there. You can get
Yeah.
penalties, red cards, things like that. But you can't create those
Yeah.
situations if you have someone who
But
can't think that fast. Casemiro can
yeah.
think that fast. Scott
But
can't.
another thing is, guys,
So this is
but
why.
this.
Sorry,
Okay.
it's
Sorry. Yeah.
let me
Go.
just butt in there. This is
Yeah.
why I think Pedri is going to be the best midfielder in the world because he can do both of those things.
Yeah,
If he receives it deep,
Mhm.
he knows to play it, and if he receives it deep and there isn't a pass on, he can beat two people and then play it off, or he
he's
can
out of
drive into
contract.
the box.
He's out
He's
of
like,
contract.
Guys. But guys, I've
look,
been
I will,
saying.
what
But
I
I've
would
been
do
saying.
to get Pedri in my team. I don't know,
Yeah.
like
He's too
I don't know
small.
how far I'll go.
I
No,
mean,
He's
there's
too
no, don't
small.
give me that too small. Don't give me that too small. You saw Klein little David Silva keep boss the league for 10 years. Don't give
yeah.
me too small.
You know
He's too
why?
small.
The Spanish? How you know why the Spanish are so good at it? The reason why they're so dope, Shavar, as well, even as the Argentinians, is because they press resistant, guys. They're
Mm,
able to, in tight spaces, wiggle their way through
Alexis
situation.
McAllister.
yep,
Yeah,
that's
name a
the
player,
guy.
and yeah, guys, at United, name me a midfielder that is press resistant, and I'll name you.
Yes.
Ericsson. Ericsson.
Stephen Smith.
Relatively, relatively,
Yeah.
dog. Relatively, he's not like about the like McAllister's way.
Maybe
He's
about
just
5 years ago,
yeah,
like,
The
he's a bit.
Argentinians are tricky. The
yeah,
Argentinians are tricky. So, for example, Jorginho is functionally press resistant, but he's not a
yeah,
skill player.
yeah,
Whereas the Argentinians, they'll hit you with the nutmeg nyana.
yeah,
They'll make you feel them. Look at Busquets. Busquets is extremely skilled
yeah,
at being press resistant, and you would never tell because it almost
yeah.
looks like it's
Effortless.
effortless with him. It's
Yes.
so effortless with
Man,
him. So so,
Like
yeah,
it,
so
it
it's
doesn't
there are
matter if
different
you're
ways.
standing right in front of him or you're 10
yeah,
meters away. He plays the same pass.
There are
yeah,
different ways to be press resistant. I think Ericsson has a technique that works for him. That
yeah,
even if you try to press him, he almost doesn't feel you. you know,
yeah.
and that works. But no one else at
For me,
United is that good.
it's his left
You
and right
see,
foot. The fact that he has left and right foot, it also creates that.
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Thank you. That's another thing that plays a role. You see, that's my thing when I look at my midfielders. It's that like we just on we and players who are usually press resistance are also they don't give away possession, especially in dangerous spaces. us, when Bruno gets the ball, first things, not even Bruno, who's this guy? First touch, bro. Even Sabitzer, bro. I was so disappointed in Homie's first touch. It's not there. And it seems as if it's not coached in them as well, because it also scares me that, like, okay, yes, Ten Hag hasn't been there for a year or a season, but at least fundamentals, bro. We need to be able, we need to fix those up and not give away the ball so carelessly, because yesterday's game, man, it could have been more.
Antwerp
Like,
can play.
it could have been
Antwerp
more,
can
bro.
play.
Yeah,
Sorry?
but trapping,
also
guys,
feel-
trapping is a skill. It's technical. It's a technique. You need to have this
It's-
down. So
It's the
you can't
first
say
thing
a
you
coach
learn,
needs to
though.
teach that to a player.
No. Yes, exactly. You can't say a coach needs to teach that. It's the first thing you learn when you are 3 years old and you see a football and you learn that this thing rolls. The first
But
thing
then-
you learn how to do
But then
is how to
Lukaku
tap the
has a
ball.
professional
Stop it.
career.
And
And
then
everyone
20
has
years later,
YouTube. Everyone has
Lukaku
YouTube.
and Timo
You just
Werner.
you type in
Exactly.
Riyadh, Mahrez, and you search. And then you'll see how to tap the ball first time.
not even
Okay,
Riyadh.
can I say this? Reece
Balotelli can
James?
trap a ball.
Reece James, for me, is the best controller of any football in the league. Like, hit him with any power, with any speed. He will
Have
trap
you
you.
seen-
Mahrez.
Okay.
Mahrez.
Have you seen Mahrez?
Thiago Alcantara?
No, I have.
Have you seen
Hey,
Oh,
Mahrez?
shit.
Riyad
No
Mahrez.
way. Reece James
Okay, wait.
taps a
No,
pass
no.
better than Thiago.
Thiago Alcantara is the best controller of the football in the world. Thiago Alcantara.
Probably.
Yeah, most
It
probably.
ends there,
Riyad
like
Mahrez.
literally. I forgot about him because he hasn't been playing.
Thank you.
No, Riyad Mahrez is great.
Guys,
But
Riyad Mahrez,
no.
Riyad Mahrez is so slow, guys. You know how slow Mahrez is. But Mahrez always finds a way to get past the fullback, and it's
Yeah.
always because of your first touch. If Mahrez's first touch is terrible in any game on kick, he doesn't take any fullback on. If Mahrez's
That's
first touch is
fine.
like Sterling's,
Do you know
he's
what's-
gone.
do you know
There's
what's
no way he
happening now
cuts it.
also at City?
Did
Do
you
what's
see?
happening
Did
now
you
at
see?
City?
Did you see how that first touch took Van Dijk running towards his goal to cut
I
into
don't think
the
Sterling has a bad
That
first
cut-
touch,
then
though.
cut in. Then cut
That
in.
cut.
Baba, Van Dijk went to go. I gave Alisson a high five, then came back, and then because it was dangerous, bro. That was dangerous, and it's all
but just
because
on
No, I
of
agree.
his first touch.
He's elite.
Just on
He's
that,
very
you know
elite.
that Foden is also starting
Oh
to
yes,
have that touch.
yes.
Yep.
That
Yes.
first touch where he
Yes.
literally kills the
Yeah.
ball and it stands still.
Yeah.
He hangs
No,
on
I
to
think
Mahrez.
it's not new, but it's not new from Foden. I saw this from him like 3 years ago. He already had like a great first touch. He control balls, especially because Walker likes to cross. He likes those cross-field balls a lot. Yeah, and Foden would handle them with no problem. So I think with him, it's a technical skill he's always had. He's got a very great first touch that allows him to take on defenders as well. Because once as a defender, someone who played as a defender, once an attacker traps the ball perfectly, I'm already shaking in my feet because
Yeah, I'm backing
what
off. I'm
else
like,
do you have in your locker?
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Also,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't-
this guy.
You can't really back off because then you're
You
giving the
can't.
guy who's just
You
taken the
can't.
perfect first touch.
Ish, but you
space,
can't
and you
go in
also
too
can't
hard as
press.
well.
You
Yeah,
can't
so
go
it's a
in
bit
there.
of a.
You have
And you can't
all
call
the-
your center midfielder to help you in this situation.
my bro, if you're a defender, the worst thing you want is another 30, 40 yards to your goal for a winger.
Bruh,
And you facing the other direction, bro. You back
Yeah.
off and you minimize, you make it at least 10 meters and say, let's run 10 meters. You don't want to run the 20, 25 meters with a winger, bro.
I mean,
unless
I've
you're
seen
one
Van Dijk-
Bissaka.
I've seen Van Dijk run 25 meters with two wingers and stop a goal. So
But you
That was
don't want
2
to do
years
it.
ago, my guy. That was before.
you don't
COVID.
want
Back in the day,
you don't want to.
Yeah.
Yes, back in the day.
No, you-
Pre-injury.
Pre-injury.
You don't want to do that, bro.
No, you don't.
I know very well.
No, you don't.
We've got
And-
10 minutes, so let's talk
Yeah.
about
Let's talk Chelsea.
the pride of
Let's talk
London.
Chelsea.
You know when they say that
Buzz.
these players are starting to become very powerful, I saw that this weekend. Chelsea is better than what they presented this weekend, but I think they just knew that two more L's, he's not going to survive.
James, what's your best team?
What's your
Because-
team like?
Yeah,
Ask that to
because
Grant
Who are your
Potter.
players?
What
don't
the
even
hell
know.
are you guys
Do you,
making us watch?
CJ, are you asking us? Are you asking us to name our best team, or are you asking us to name the best team that Graham Potter had?
I don't
The
even know
team.
who's your first keeper. Like, is it
It's
Kepa?
Kepa. It's
Is it
Kepa.
Mendy?
It's Kepa.
Who?
Under Potter, it's
And
Kepa.
yeah,
Under under Potter, it's Kepa. Under Potter, Havertz is our best striker. Under
What's
Potter.
your what's
Under
your
Potter,
formation?
Under Potter, we play three formations. We play 3-4-3, 3-5-2, 4, what was it? 4-3-3. But actually, we never played an actual formation. We just we gave it our all.
Why is Cucurella a centre back?
Yeah,
Why
I
is
Because
Rich
even
James
Chelsea
at
had
centre
that.
back?
I
We have
have a list
Badiashile.
of
We have Badiashile sitting on the bench. He can play left centre back with no problems. We
no, but
have
Cucurella.
yeah, but Cucurella must play there. We have Rhys James playing right centre back when he's a better wing back, and then we have Ruben Loftus-Cheek who can't dribble past anyone, playing
oh
as
yeah,
the wing back,
yes.
and then I don't think our midfield is a problem because the midfield did a great job advancing the ball, putting us in a position where we could create chances. We have a striker that can't shoot with any level of conviction because he's not a striker.
Shamdwan.
And then his first change every game is Gallagher, who doesn't actually have a position on the pitch. He just runs he runs a lot. Yo, guys, it's been a lot. Like, I've been suffering. Yo, I've suffered.
but you
We
guys
can
have
see it in
Kante
your
back
eyes,
at
dude.
least.
What do you say?
Kante is back at least. I saw him play.
At least.
Yeah.
So Kante is
Yeah.
back.
Go low.
Look, I don't think we have a
Hold on.
personnel issue. I don't think we have a personnel issue. I don't think Chelsea was under talented. I think it was the talent was being underutilized. We haven't needed Kante, quite frankly. We haven't. But we've been so bad that it felt like we needed Kante. Kante was bad. Kante didn't do much. We still lost the game. So it's not the players not being impactful. It's that the tactics that are being applied are not they're not resonating with the players. And I don't think they were resonating with the Brighton players because you look at the Zerbi's team, it's a different Brighton. It's a different team. Solimatch didn't score goals, guys. Solimatch didn't score goals. Solimatch has an end product. He's scoring goals. Mitoma was a bench warmer under Potter. Mitoma was one of the best wingers in the league.
Yes.
Literally a nightmare to see one-on-one. A nightmare.
Hey, Mutomo.
Because you don't know whether
Look
he's
at
us
gone,
trained
gone
about
outside or he's going to
Mutomo.
cut inside. And
Yes, you don't know what he's gonna do.
He keeps the ball. He keeps the ball like he's from South America.
Look at McAllister. Look how good he is. Like he is so good. I said this when we signed Potter. I said I think we wanted Brighton's recruitment, not their coach. We wanted their recruitment. They were recruiting excellently, like above the line. Dan Burns, Ben White, the talent, even the talent that has left Brighton, is so great.
Yo,
You know,
Caicedo, I forgot
very
about
good players. Caicedo, like all we wanted was their recruitment, not their coach. The outcomes at Brighton were always underwhelming for the type of talent that was available. So right now you are looking at the outcomes at Brighton as they are supposed to be because the coach and the Premier League is the coaches league. I will always say this. It doesn't matter how much you spend, it doesn't matter how many amazing players you have, it doesn't matter what those players achieved in their past. You could literally bring that entire Argentinian team. If you gave that team to Graham Potter, they don't win anything because it is a coach's league. The coach needs to be of the correct pedigree to coach the team to where it needs to be. And this team is amazing. It's primed for great things. I think if we get my personal choice is Luis Enrique. I have only enjoyed his Barca team next to Pep's as far as gameplay, intensity, style, everything. That team would bench Messi and still be just as great. Like it was that good. That man is a brilliant coach. But I know we're gonna get Julian Nagelsmann. Now it was because of him.
No.
Because if you watch Villanova, if you watch Tata Martino, you see the difference. and this is something about coaching that I think people don't realize. Coaching is very nuanced. Those players are not going out there and using tactics from 3 years ago. No, no. They're using what you told them to do today. That's how soccer works. So people that say, for example, De Zerbi is benefiting from Potter. De Zerbi is not playing the same football Potter was playing. You just have to watch the two teams. You'll realize that. So when Luis Enrique was coaching Barcelona, they were playing the Barcelona style of football. But he incorporated certain things that Pep didn't have. The type of press. The last time I ever saw Messi press in the opposition box, press all over the pitch, was under Luis Enrique. Messi never pressed after that.
After that season
Never.
where they won the
Messi used to
treble,
win balls and create
they tanked. They
the
tanked.
six
I saw Enrique playing a flat 4-4-2 with Barcelona. Like, come on. I don't. I think he's a good coach, but I don't think take that Barcelona 2015 year away from him, and you'll see there's a lot of shortcomings there.
He
Which is
still has the
also on the
2013
flip
year.
side. Yeah.
No,
flip
that
side of
was
the coin.
Villanova, wasn't it?
No, the sixth double was Luis Enrique.
No, the sixth double was Pep. Enrique won a
No, the
treble in
sixth double was
2015. Enrique won a
no.
treble
He
in
won the sixth
2015.
double. He won the sixth double.
Can you Google?
He had Neymar and Suarez. He won the sixth
Yes,
double.
that was 2015. That
No,
wasn't
that was 2013. That was 2013, 14. That was 13, 14. The season after Bayern won.
13-14, Atletico Madrid won the league. I know this because I was making fun of my Real Madrid fan. Because he was making fun of me for Liverpool coming second, and I'm like, you guys came third in a 2-team league. So I know this. I know this because I remember my snide comments.
As
It
you
was
Google.
2015.
Okay.
On the flip side of
Yes,
the coin, also,
yeah.
you have to look at also what other managers are available. The ex-Bayern manager is available, concerned with his age. But
Yeah.
I'm not a
He's
fan.
fine.
Have you watched Nagelsmann's football?
I have.
It's very Klopp-like,
Yeah.
and
Gergen press.
Yep.
Rock and
Look, I
roll
love
music.
German coaches. I thought we had the right one with Tuchel because he doesn't overuse this style, this gegenpressing style. He doesn't overuse that type. He uses a counter press type of system. Gegenpressing is exhausting on players, and I think even the Bayern players were tired of that nonsense because you're not telling the players, you're not coaching how to play. You're coaching how to counter the other team and how they play. It's
Yeah.
easier to coach a team on how to play. Technically, how do you connect your style of playing? So even when I watched Bayern against Barcelona, I didn't think they played great. I just think Barcelona was wasteful, Lewandowski especially, and as a result, they lost those games. So to me, I look at him and I'm thinking, yeah, look, he's young. There are a lot of things that are standing out that you like. Oh, we should go for him. But when you look at the actual football, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Grand scheme of
Luis
things.
Enrique, I'm far more into him.
You guys
But I
must
know
get
it's gonna be
numbers.
Julian.
I want Julian as well. I want Julian as well. Yeah. Like personally, I'd love Julian for your team. Yeah.
My question is,
the players,
if we get Julian,
the players are there and they
Yeah.
if we get Julian and Spurs get Enrique, I'd hate that shit. And Enrique wants to work in England. He's been learning English and all that. He wants the English job. He wants an English team. And there's plenty of jobs available right now.
Yeah.
I'd want
Spurs.
Luis Enrique to replace Pep.
Really?
You guys.
You guys rate
Guys,
Enrique
Luis
that
Enrique.
much?
Have you
But
watched
but
Spain?
stylistically
Yes, I
it's
watched Spain.
similar, though.
I'm a
It's
Spain
similar to
fan. This
Chile.
is why I
no,
know
for
Enrique
City,
is
Okay.
so good.
it makes sense.
No,
Yeah,
but let me tell you the difference. Spain is small in size. Spain gets dominated physically by teams, especially in Europe when they play. But when you look at
So then-
Spain, the style that they play, that's the football I'd want because Chelsea is
Yeah.
not as small. So if you take the same style of football and you put it with Enzo Fernandez and Joao
Let
Felix,
me-
Aria.
But let me ask you this question, right? You know you're generally a smaller nation. So why do you take your best big midfielder in Rodri and play him at centre back? And why do you take your best big guy in Sergio Ramos and not take him to the World Cup?
Look,
No,
I think he wanted
No.
ego thing more than anything.
a young team.
But then why do you
He
take
wanted a
Sergio
young
Busquets
team
if
to
you
go to
want
the
a
World
young
Cup.
team? Why do you take Sergio Busquets if you want a young team?
Sergio
Play
Busquets,
Rodri in that role instead of Busquets if
Sergio
you want a young
Busquets,
team.
the love
Okay,
Sergio Busquets
hold
gets
on.
is never
Why
going
do
to
you
be
take
reasonable.
Eric Garcia to the World Cup if you want to do anything in life?
Oh, that
Like,
guy is
even
terrible.
Pep knew that guy is not good and sent him off.
No,
Yeah.
Pep always tells these guys, bro. He's like, here, you stay, you will develop, and at the right age, you'll leave. These guys think when these big clubs like Barcelona call, you're gonna develop. They don't. They take you
Yes.
and they chuck you inside there. Ask Ferran Torres and Garcia. Those guys have not
Yeah.
improved since they left City
They've not,
at all.
yeah.
Hey, Ferran Torres, I feel bad for him. I feel
Yeah.
bad for
He
him. I
scored a
watch
goal.
him
He
and
scored a lovely goal though.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because he's going to be shit the next game.
Yeah, I know,
Yep.
but I'm just
And
saying.
Ansu
That's the
Fati,
thing
both
about
of
him.
them.
Yeah. Oh,
Ansu,
but
for me, I feel that the injury came at the worst time for him.
Yeah.
The injury, he's too young. The injury comes when he's gaining confidence. He's becoming a big game player for the team, and then he
I
loses
watched
his
a-
place in the team. Destroyed
I
him
watched a
completely.
documentary on. I watched a documentary on Fatty. What happened was, his first injury was, I think, his left knee or his right knee. Don't remember which one. But after he fully recovered and he came back and all of that. And after that, his other injury was the opposite hip, because his whichever knee it was, let's just call it his left knee, is not as, I mean, it is as
Aligned.
strong physically, but he doesn't trust it the same. So he
Of course,
overcompensates with the other side,
on the other
and now
side, yeah.
he's that's damaging his opposite hip, and I think
Yeah.
that's what's doing him. It's the same thing that happened to Sturridge. All the doctors were like, "Dude, you're 100% fit," but he just didn't trust his body afterwards.
psychologically,
It
you can
happens to a lot
imagine.
of players.
Yeah,
It
you
does.
can
It
imagine
does.
psychologically how tough it is, man, getting those sort of
Probably
injuries, man.
Hazard. Yep.
Yeah.
Hazard,
Ish.
Van Dijk. Van Dijk doesn't trust his body
Well,
anymore.
I mean,
He doesn't go into challenges. Have people
he never
noticed that
went to
Van Dijk
challenge,
doesn't tackle? No,
but
he used to
Yeah.
he never
tackle.
tackled.
He positioned
No,
himself.
he always positioned himself in such.
Mm.
He would make a block, but he wasn't really much of a tackler, and that's another
Yeah.
reason why I always said he was an elite centre back, because he never had to make a tackle.
Mm.
And the whole of last season, you could see this guy is still the best defender in the world. He hasn't hit the heights of pre-injury, but he was still the best defender in the world. So I don't think it's that. I think it's look. There's so many things wrong at my club. I don't want to get into it. I've come on here. I've
I
said
know,
enough.
Don't
Even the
worry, you're
kit
not
is
the
heavy.
only one.
Yeah,
You're not
even
the
the
only
kit is
one,
heavy.
bro. You're not the only one. We're just waiting for Arab money on our end, man. Because for
Yeah,
me,
I don't want
Glaze
any
is
of
Yeah, but
that.
I don't think it's gonna happen anytime
Any
soon.
score
And then
predictions?
on our side,
Everton
the
versus
weird thing
Spurs?
is that what's happened
Oh,
is the
sorry.
firing of the manager has almost like put a reset button, so that we don't really have that much pressure because whoever is coming in, because we've written off the season. The only thing we care for now is if we get Champions League. That's if we get Champions League.
That guy ain't gonna
We're
win
not
the
getting
Champions
Champions
League.
League.
You can clip me right now. If you guys get Nagelsmann,
No
that's
one
why I
is gonna
want
win the
Nagelsmann.
Champions League in
No,
weeks.
Yeah, that's
maybe
why I want
Tuchel.
Nagelsmann.
Maybe Tuchel might be able to pull off the Champions League.
Yeah,
Don't say that. Don't say that to Cheese, because he's playing him next.
Cheese
yeah, but
Cheese knows,
Cheese did
guys.
own up.
You
But
know,
Cheese
Cheese
did-
semi-finals. That's as far as you're gonna go. You know
Yeah,
this.
Cheese has
Come on,
already said
football
in the group.
heritage. You know this.
Yeah, Cheese
Pep
has already
versus
said in the
Tuchel again.
I told everyone that City will never win the Champions League under Pep.
You did.
Yeah.
Actually, you did. Yes.
You did.
You
So
did.
that's
Yeah, you
that's
have
why
told
I'm
me
not
that as
coming
well.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm not coming for you in any way, man. So
Score predictions?
yeah, Tottenham and Everton.
As long as
Spurs
Tottenham win.
Everton score predictions?
As long as
Tottenham
Tottenham win.
2-0.
As long
Yeah.
as
I
Tottenham
see
win.
that
Tottenham 2-0.
Hugo is back.
Hennessy Hugo.
I see
Loris.
that he's back.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a weird game. I think it's going to be a 2-0 draw.
Yeah, same here. I was also gonna say draw.
If I
Yeah.
can't celebrate my
I don't
team,
see where the
then I want to
goals
celebrate
where the goals
Everton
gonna come
anyway.
from for Everton.
Calvin
Who's gonna score for Everton?
They've got that boy, what's his name? Gray. He's on the up.
Damari Gray.
Gray
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 is on
doesn't
the up.
score, man.
He'll score
No,
two
He
bangers.
doesn't score.
He always scores a worldie, one worldie. He's like Andros Townsend. Remember Andros
Yeah,
Townsend?
okay,
He waits for
okay,
Man
okay, fine.
United.
Okay, they lose
No,
for one
City.
then.
There's that
They
He,
lose
he
for
waits
one.
for Man United.
Ish. Yeah, I
He
remember.
waits for Man United. There are
And
certain
City.
players that show up for Man United or Chelsea actually.
Yeah.
I smacked that
Players
good one
like
against City as
McGinn.
well.
Yeah, McGinn.
Players like McGinn. Hey,
And that was his
Fuck-
first goal in so
fuck that guy.
many.
in 50 games. In 50 games.
5-0.
Yeah. That's crazy. So Shiva, I said draw as well. I say 1-1. When at Shiva, what do you say,
A
mate?
Tottenham win will put us out of top 4 and in my
Now I
misery.
think Spurs win.
Also, hopefully, relegate Everton. And who doesn't want to see Everton get relegated? So come on, Tottenham. Imagine.
Yo, Shiva, bruh.
No, but
And
I've
then
also said
you-
as soon
Only
as
only
we were lying
Liverpool
on
fans
Tottenham
care about
previous
Everton.
season-
Yeah. The rest of us are like, Everton who? Actually,
Yeah.
they did beat us at the bridge. I remember now.
Scousers.
Yeah, like now I don't care about Everton, bro.
Hmm.
They are a hoodoo team,
They beat us at the Etihad.
but I don't care about them. I don't care about them enough to care about them being relegated. But if West Ham gets relegated, I'll be happy.
Who? West Ham.
Relegate West Ham.
Yeah.
Leave Everton.
If United were to get relegated,
West Ham, yeah.
I'd be over
Relegate
there.
them.
Like I don't want to see United get relegated.
We'll buy a status.
Why not?
We'll buy a status.
I want to
If
see
you're
United finish
PSL, man.
17th.
I need
in the
Arsenal
league.
to
I don't want to
choke.
see them getting relegated.
I know.
You buy Southampton status.
I need Arsenal to
Yeah.
choke.
This is not PSL, Baba.
Yeah.
I need City. I need City to make sure with their game in hand, because if they get it to 2 points difference, I think Arsenal are going to start feeling City's footsteps behind them.
Liverpool needs to do a job. Don't
Guys,
come here and go far. Okay, this guy needs to
Arsenal
do a
still have
job.
to come to look.
Chelsea,
it's Anfield,
Chelsea
right?
needs to do a job.
It's an
Yeah,
Anfield,
Chelsea needs to do
so
a
we can
job.
do something.
You three people here, you three people, hey, make a plan. And then when it comes to me, hi, he's our apprentice, Pep's apprentice. We come give him another spanking. He goes back with his team, and we salvage another quiet season.
And this one is not gonna be quiet. Bro, Arsenal fans are gonna feel it. Should they slip up? Yo,
I'll be happy.
it's gonna be
Piers
unbelievable.
Morgan, bro. Piers Morgan, bro.
yeah.
Piers
Yes,
Morgan's life. If that
Yes.
happens, Piers Morgan
Oh.
is gonna commit suicide. I'm telling you, that guy, he's not gonna survive that.
Yeah.
But also,
Hey,
Piers
guys.
Morgan bloody takes L's all day, every day. So
Yeah, that's
He's
his
used to
life.
it.
Yeah,
Right
but for
now,
Arsenal, bro. For Arsenal, he's diehard Arsenal, bro.
Yeah, it is.
But to be
He's
honest,
also
I'd
diehard Cristiano.
rather have Arsenal take the
yeah,
Of
like
course.
what the fuck? Where did that come from?
Yeah, with
He loves
Cristiano.
that man. He loves him.
From nowhere. Because
Yeah.
I
Fans
never
are
saw
delusional. They
Piers
think-
Morgan say anything about Ronaldo until Ronaldo came to United.
Dude.
Then
he's
suddenly
like-
Piers
like-
Morgan is Ronaldo's biggest fan.
Guys, can I read something to you guys?
Yeah, you can read one.
You wrote us a poem
Um,
on your first night.
No, it's not a poem. It's a tweet. It's one of these leaks from the team. So it says, I was told that players during halftime team talks used to have trepidation almost when Thomas Tuchel used to come in. Under Potter, it was almost sort of like, oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting. He was positive when the players didn't expect him to be.
Yeah, it's like it's like
So basically, he was accepting to low standards. So we would have a horrible half, and he'd come in being kumbaya. Like, it's okay, guys. We'll go back out there. We'll do our
Nah,
best.
I think he wasn't a good fit for Chelsea. I think
He's not a good fit. He's a
gonna
psychologist
take
more than
the
he is a
Leicester
manager.
job. If not the Leicester job, the West Ham job.
He actually declined the Leicester job today.
Is it?
Who?
Yeah, apparently he wants to take a break. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he's 60 million pounds richer, man. Like,
So wait,
he should go on
they
holiday
paid
with
him
his
60
family.
million to fire him.
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a clause. Yeah. So yeah,
No, it's actually
Why have
no. They gave him a severance. I think it's about 20 mil. they gave him a severance. They didn't have to pay him for the whole duration of the contract. They just gave him a severance pay. I think it was part of the contract.
Because it was what 7 months in the job.
Oh,
6 months in
but
the job.
20 million is still a lot, guys. It's like
It's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
10
That's
rands,
that's
I need to
you
Now
apply
you're
for the Chelsea
exposing. Now
job.
you're exposing the rand.
Yeah.
Now you're exposing.
I'm just
in your
saying,
mind.
dog. I mean, dog, with that money here, and they say you're living soft, bruh. Soft.
You know, but you can escape
Anyway,
prison.
Chief,
You can escape prison. You can do whatever.
someone converted Mbappe's money into rands. Hey, I had palpitations for days
yo, living
because he
I don't
gets
even
six
want to
million
know.
euros. He gets 6 million euros per month, and then he gets his loyalty bonus is 60 euros, and he converted that into rands. Like I was like, yo, the loyalty bonus is crazy as well.
Don't depress us. We're going to go sleep now, please.
This guy. Now I must pour myself a drink, man.
I need to smoke.
Yeah. I know, guys. Thank you. Yo, this was a lovely episode, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for being
Yeah, guys,
so-
please have me again. I don't mind.
Yeah,
I talk sports, but let me sell myself. I'm a sport fanatic. I have my hand in almost every sport. I played soccer, I played cricket, I played basketball, so I can feature in almost any sport discussion. You know, us DSTV premium subscribers.
Yeah,
Yo.
guys. Yeah, let's close it, guys. Nah. Peace out, gents.
Thank you very
Peace,
much,
gents.
gents.
Away.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, gents.